No one talks about resetting your life from ground zero in your late 30s. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and I just want to introduce myself first. And on today's video, I'm going to talk about how no one talks about how resetting your life can be hard in your late 30s. I'm going to focus on some points that will encourage you in this period of your life. If you are going through that, if you are going through doubt, if you're going through struggles, if you are going through maybe a midlife crisis, or just reaching that age, which is now, according to my age, I'm in the late 30s, and feeling like you have to reset your life. So on today's video, I'm going to talk about how resetting your life at this age is not as bad as you think. And I'm not sure if there's many of you out there that are feeling the same way as I'm feeling, because I feel like I'm on this journey alone. And so I want to share my experience and see and share the experience I'm going through and how I'm going through it, and hopefully be able to help someone out there. On that note, let's get into it. No one talks about resetting your life from ground zero in your late 30s. The first thing I want you to understand is that it is okay, and to accept the place where you're at, accept your situation, and try and move forward from there. I mean, it's okay to sit there, take some time to wallow over what you're feeling, accept your feelings, but do not stay there for too long. I'm talking about the experiences I've gone through, and how when I came into 2020, I told myself 2020 is a year of action, the year of actually moving. Because in the past 3 years, let's say 2 and something years, not so much. In August this year, it's coming out to 3 years. But in the past 2 and something years, I have gone through a lot of radical changes, a lot of resetting in all areas of my life, and that has brought me to this very moment, and how I am creating this space to reset your life. And that's how this channel came about. It's the Health Reset Project. It's for basically those who have gone through a life-changing experience and feel like that they are in a process, that they need to reset something in their life, that they need to restart something in their life, whether that is a health journey, whether that is through relationship, or a whole identity. Because that is what I went through in the past 2 and something years, and so I'm here for it. And so the first thing I want you to understand is that it's okay to be in that situation, and not so much to feel like you're a failure, because we all go through that failures in life. Like you're in, for example, I'm in this age and feel like I failed life. I feel like I haven't achieved things that the world or the standard of this world made you to be. Standards where you at this age you should be this and this and this, or at this age you should be earning this much. And so if you're not up to the expectation or the standard of this world, as they say, success or successful, owning a successful business, having a successful career, and you're at this age that you think you should be at that point, I'm on the same page as you. And so accepting where you're at and start from there, but you need to move forward from there one step at a time. Because I'm talking about my experience in the past 2 something years. I have moved in ways, not physically but spiritually, if you know what I mean. Because let me bring you back to how this whole thing started. So in 2023, I had a radical experience, spiritual experience. Let's just say I had a radical experience with God, and it brought me so many challenges. At the same time, I found peace, because my life before that was crazy. Looking back into how my life was at the time when I was living that life, I thought I was living the best life. I was busy all the time. I was working. I was doing a side business. I started a business myself. And so I put my all into that business because I thought that was my purpose. And health and fitness, I thought that was my purpose. I thought that was, I meant to do that. I meant to be in fitness. I created a fitness class. I created a brand. I put my all into it. However, my mental health was not at all okay, because as I was seeking to find peace, that was where I found God. And so fast forward to now, nearly 3 years into it, I have grown so much mentally and spiritually. Not so much of my health physically, because when I had that experience with God in 2023, I literally disconnected myself from the health in like the health and fitness industry. I realized that the gym was my idol, was my God at the time. And so I had to separate myself from that life to be able to build my life spiritually, and that was with God, because He saved me. When I had that radical change, I found the peace that I was trying to find all my life. And so because at the time I was so busy with the brand that I was building, the class that I was studying, and at the same time I was doing a full-time job, I was trying to find peace to calm my mind. And in the middle of that chaos, I found peace, which is from God. The peace from God surpasses all understanding. Like, you have no idea. I had no idea what that peace was until I found that peace. I cannot explain it. And so I found peace and joy, but at the same time, the enemy was coming after me. And so in the past 2.5 years, coming up to, in August, it should be 3 years. And so coming up to 3 years, I have grown so much spiritually and mentally, and learning how God is positioning me for this purpose. And so it took me a long time to actually create this video. And this is not the first time. I've tried many times before in the past 2 years, and I never posted anything. However, this idea of Health Reset project came up last year. However, I was sitting on it. I continued to seek God. I continued to have that relationship with God to actually guide me into where I should go. And so last year, I felt like God wanted me to just sit with Him. And so that's what I did. However, towards the end of last year, I found peace that God said, next year, you're moving. Sorry, I'm just emotional, but yeah. God said, you need to move next year. Meaning, you need to take actions. So if you are... Okay, where were we? Sorry, I had to stop the video because I got so emotional. However, so the first point I want to talk about is that accept where you're at and move forward. In the past 3 years, as I mentioned, my life changed dramatically, and how God renewed my mind, and how He gave me the peace that surpasses all understanding. And in the past 2 and something years, I have just walked with God, build my relationship with Him, and also working on my mental health and spiritual health. And so that has led me into this space where God said to me, this year you need to move, meaning you need to take actions. Whatever that you have learned in the past, the knowledge you accumulated from your health and fitness experience, from work experience, and also from your studies, as I am studying food and nutrition at the moment, take that into, use it as your purpose. So that has led me into creating this Health Reset project to help people that feel like they are at the point in their life that they need to change, they need a reset, they need a restart, they need something new in their life. And I'm here to tell you, it's not too late. I'm in my late 30s, and I realized that I basically need to restart my life. And I reached this point because I had a radical experience with God. that gave me peace, that gave me new purpose, that literally redirected my life. I don't know where I would be if God didn't save me back in 2023, but here I am. The Health Reset Project is pretty much for people that are on a new journey, resetting your life through nutrition, through fitness, through renewing your mindset. And so in this channel, it'll be about wellness, about traditional health, and also about your lifestyle, how you incorporate everything in your daily habits. But today, I'm talking about how no one talks about resetting your life at your late 30s. And I'm sure some people out there are resetting their life in their 40s, in their mid 40s, in their late 40s. And so I'm speaking to anyone out there, if you're in your mid 20s, late 20s, early 20s, those are the year, your optimum, like where you're at your highest peak, your learning life, your living life. And so wherever you are resetting at, I'm here to encourage you that accept where you're at and move forward. The journey and the experience is in the journey, and what you're experiencing now, it's gonna reward. You're gonna look back and think, oh, I went through that for a reason, and whatever knowledge or wisdom that you're getting from that, it's gonna help you whatever direction that you're going through. And here are the things that I had learned since my journey, since I reset my life back in 2023, because I'm at this point because of what I did back in 2023. Since my journey with God, since the whole spiritual journey and renewing of the mind journey, I changed radically. And my friends and family noticed the difference in me, and it's all good changes. However, it is really hard to forget the past. It's especially when your life has been everything that you've known to be for 30 plus years, and then suddenly your whole life changed. Suddenly you have a new perspective in life. And so it's not easy to break the patterns and to disconnect yourself fully from your old self. So that has been my journey in the past 2 something years. I have been going through challenges, transitions, emotion roller coaster of accepting who I am now and letting go who I was, and just accept that the past is the past. It's okay to look back at it, however, that's not you anymore. And so there were many times where I sat down and was thinking, would I ever go back to that life? Would I ever be the same person like I was before? And the answer is no, because I have encountered better. I have the veil has lifted. My perspective of life has totally changed. And so there's no way I'm going to go back to my old self. Even the way I look changed. The way I did my hair, the way I used to have the biggest lashes. The way I looked physically to before and after totally changed. And so the way I dress, the way I look, the way I come across on social media, everything has changed. And so nowadays I'm more natural looking in a way, the way I do makeup. I don't wear eyeliner anymore. I don't wear as much eyelash extensions unless I am going on holiday. I would like to have some eyelash extension because I don't have to put mascara on all the time. Things like that. Things that I used to think it's important, it's not important anymore. And so that's another point, to accept the past and move forward. And just know that you're going to be okay. It's going to be tough throughout the transition and throughout that changing period. However, it's going to be okay. So the changes I've made since I reset my life and I restarted my new life from back in 2023. The first thing I really wanted to do was to stop drinking, and this was not a decision that I made up myself. I actually prayed about it and I asked God what I needed to do to guide me and to strengthen me in this process, because I've tried many times before to try and quit alcohol and that didn't happen. And so this time I asked God, I prayed and I asked God, please help me, guide me and strengthen me and guide me to the right direction and help me to quit alcohol. And it was so easy. I prayed, God told me, why don't you start now? And I was like, okay, I'll stop drinking. And since then, because I mentioned drinking because it was the biggest stumbling block for me back then. I wasn't a big drinker, like everyday drinking. However, when I drink, I will drink to the point where I will black out. And not only drinking, I was smoking a lot of shisha as well at the same time. So I quit drinking and also smoking shisha. The second thing I did was I was convicted of swearing. At the start, I was swearing, but it didn't feel right to me. Like my mouth was not right when I swear. I don't know if that makes sense. The songs that I was listening to. Because I was using these songs for my fitness class, that was the first thing that I was convicted of. The words in the songs, the words that was used in the song, how the beats were, how the songs make you move in certain ways. I was convicted of that, and so that's why the fitness class didn't really last long after that, because I feel like it wasn't the right thing for me to do anymore. And so I stopped swearing, I stopped listening to worldly music, and I started to read the Bible. And at one point I told myself I want to read the Bible from the start to finish, and I did. And that was one of the biggest, most important thing that I did in my life during that time, because the Bible became this book that transformed my view of the world, not so much of religion, but it was a transformation through just me and God, not about what religion you are and what denomination you're in as a Christian, but just my relationship with God. And so that was the most important thing that I did, and the best thing I did during that time, because I was this new baby Christian, building this relationship with God, and I have no idea where I'm going. However, all I knew is that I want this peace. I want this. I cannot believe that I lived all my life not knowing this, like what the Bible is telling us, how to live, how to live life basically. The Bible is not about what religion you are. It's about doing life according to what God wants you to be. God has given us so much power, authority to do life. However, we're walking around like headless chickens, doing our own thing, choosing whatever we think that we are meant to do. However, God is just sitting there thinking, I'll just let you do whatever you want. However, this is not what you're meant to do in this life. And so if you are open to change, open to the truth, God will guide you. God will eventually get you at some point in your life. And I hope that will happen, because it's the best thing that will ever happen to your life. And I came into this video, didn't want to talk about God, but that has led me. I guess the Holy Spirit is leading me to speak about it. And so another thing another change that I've encountered throughout this journey was I had more patience, I was more forgiving. I realized that I held a lot of unforgiveness in my life, a lot of bitterness, a lot of things that I didn't realize I was holding. It all came out. So there was a transformation, refining, transitioning, radical changes. And so I realized I'm in my late 30s and I'm not in a relationship. I was casually dating before this, and then when I had this change, this radical change, I told myself I'm not going to date anymore until God will send me the right person, until I meet the person that God has for me. And so since then, I have not dated since 2023, which is the end of 2023, around August. Not really the end, but yeah. Anyway, so since then, I have not dated since then. However, there was one incident or occasion that God has confirmed to me through someone. It was at the gym, but that's gonna be for a next video, because it's a long story. I was given a number, but I never really gone through it with the person, because I was in this journey with God and I was so excited, and so yeah, I didn't really follow through with that, with the number I got from the gym, because I felt like it wasn't the right thing to do at the time. And so since then, I haven't really gone on any dates, haven't really, no situationship, no nothing, zero. And so, but I am really content and really excited for this new chapter. Resetting my life has been a journey, and I am excited to share this on this channel and move forward with this, because I feel like this is a God-given purpose for my life, and I don't really fully know where it's going. However, I'm excited to find out, because as they say, you need to move one step at a time and find out, because as a follower of Christ, you need to have faith to move, and when you move, God will help you throughout the way, throughout your journey. My encouragement to you, if you are at this point of resetting your life, sit down, have some me time, spend some time with yourself, journal, because I tell you, I've been journaling for a long time. Since my late teens, I started journaling, and everything that was in my head, I was putting it into paper. And I felt like it really helped me at the time, because I wasn't really sharing anything to anyone. And so instead of putting it all, like bottling it in my head, I put it into paper. And so since then, I have journals after journals, notebooks after notebooks, filled with whatever that you feel like it's in your head that you want to write down, your goals, your dreams, your plans, your daily habits, everything. Write it down in a journal. And if you're at this stage of life that you feel like you need a reset, and you're in your 30s and you have no idea what you're doing, you're nowhere as successful as the world says that you should be, sit down, have a quiet moment, and have a clean paper, have a white, empty, clean paper, and start from there. Just like the paper is it's empty, restart your life from there, and write whatever that comes in your head, and ask God for guidance, or pray. Prayer, as the Bible says, pray without ceasing. If you need answers right now, pray. If you need direction, pray. If you need clarity, pray. And so I'm sharing this because this is exactly what I have been going through in the past 2 and something years. I have been just seeking God in everything in my life, and it was not easy, because I tell you, it's a roller coaster, and that is the journey. Finding God is not going to be rainbows and stars and a line and everything will be given to you. No, it is a journey of tears, of laughter, of emotions, of a lot of things. However, it will lead you to your purpose, and that is where I'm at right now. I'm pretty clear on where God is guiding me to, and He has really set me to dive into this traditional health, wellness, and lifestyle to reset people's life. If I'm going through this journey, I can also help people that are going through the same situation. And with the knowledge I have gained throughout my life, I can share this, and hopefully I can help someone out there that are at exactly the point where I was before. If you're lost, if you are confused, if you are needing clarity and perspective, different perspective, I hope these videos and this channel will be able to help you, guide you, and give you step-by-step tips and direction for your life. And so, yeah. I hope this video helped you in any way. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, because I really told myself like I have to do this video, because if not, I would never start this channel. And this is me being obedient to what God has told me to. This year is the year of actions. No more planning, no more tomorrow, no more procrastination. Just do it. And so I'm here to talking to you, and I have no idea if I'm making any sense. However, I hope there is a word that you're getting from this video that will be able to help you. And yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. And if you haven't liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.